Hi everyone, Jessica, clinical psychologist for thepsychcollective.com, finally back with another schema therapy video after a long time in lockdown for us. We are finishing up the maladaptive coping modes by doing the compliant surrenderer mode today. So this is one of the only ones in the freeze category when we talk about fight, flight, freeze as your coping responses. The function of the compliant surrenderer mode, it's to give up the fight, it's to give in, it is to accept the schema as true, it's I don't want to rock the boat, my punitive parent is too loud, my demanding parent's too loud, I've got nothing left of me, that's up, I give up, I give in, right? So the triggers for this is usually something like, I've tried to overcompensate, I've tried to be perfectionistic, I've tried the self-aggrandizing, I've tried to control everything, that didn't work. Or maybe it's the flight didn't work, I've tried to avoid, I've tried to detach, I've tried to be angry, push everyone away, and that didn't work. And so finally we get to the point of surrender of just, I've got nothing left. So it was either a failure or an exhaustion of other coping mechanisms. It's not always that. Some people have compliant surrender as their default, but more often what I see in clinical practice is there's almost a bit of a hierarchy, and compliant surrender is one of the last ones that they will get to. Schemas for this one: failure, defectiveness, dependency and incompetence, almost got those two mixed up, abandonment, social isolation, punitiveness, all the ones that basically have the person getting to the point where, what's the point in even trying? I always screw up, this always happens to me, I'm not even going to fight against the schema anymore. So if you think about it in terms of the actual schema, so let's say someone has got the schema of failure, right? The compliant surrender response is, I always fail at everything. Right? It's different to the avoidant protector response, which would be, well, I'm not going to try because if I don't try, then I can't fail. The compliant surrender is just, I just fail. That's what I do. I'm defective. That's who I am. Abandonment, everyone leaves me. I'm not even going to try and stop them from leaving me. I'm not even going to try and overcompensate, or I'm not even going to kind of try and complain about it or kind of do it in a way to try and avoid attachment. I just accept the fact that my relationships are always going to fall apart because everyone always abandons me. So it's really this kind of giving into the schema itself. It's giving into the punitive parent and the demanding parent modes. It's kind of giving up on looking after the vulnerable child. They can very much come across as subservient, submissive, passive. They're the doormat kind of schema mode, right? They are going to do what they're told. They're going to let others make decisions. Susan Simpson is a psychologist who works specifically around schema therapy for eating disorders. She's identified two slight variations on the surrender mode. She talks about the dependent, helpless surrenderer, and then also the hopeless surrenderer. But again, it's kind of, I can't do it for myself. This isn't going to work. Why even bother trying? It's very much this sense of, I give up. This is maladaptive simply because they give up. They believe everything their punitive parent says to be true. They don't fight for their own needs. They have really low willingness and low kind of determination to make changes because they see their schema as a fait accompli. They believe that it's inevitable. It's always going to fail. It's always going to be terrible. Why even bother trying? So they stay stuck. It's one of the hardest kind of modes to work with if this is one of the most prominent coping modes, because in order to kind of get someone to want to be a healthy adult and want to look after their vulnerable child, there's got to be some kind of belief that I can make changes and I can get better, whereas the compliant surrender really leaves the person stuck in, there's no point in even trying. In terms of their needs, what they need is autonomy. What they need is freedom to express. What they need is self-discipline. So then the role of a healthy adult in kind of managing and challenging the compliant surrenderer. You know what, this is going to sound really, really harsh, and I've debated whether or not to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. They need to stop allowing self-neglect. And what I mean by that is when a person doesn't use their own voice, when a person doesn't ask for their needs to be met, when a person doesn't express their own needs, they're kind of by default neglecting themselves. So the healthy adult mode needs to be the one that steps up and says, enough is enough. We're going to fight for what we need. We're going to fight for what we want. We're going to use our voice. We're going to protect the vulnerable child. We're going to learn how to be a healthy adult. We're going to step up and actually take some responsibility here. Now, compliant surrenderers have usually been developed over a long period of time of abuse, domestic violence, being in situations where they repeatedly kind of shut down. So this is a slow mode to try and turn around, but the healthy adult needs to make the choice to start doing things differently. Now, in terms of how others can be helpful with this mode, the biggest thing is you need to find the people who are willing to help you to stop being a doormat. Now, if you have been in compliant surrenderer mode for a long time, you are probably going to have people in your life who really like the fact that you give in on everything. You're going to have people who like the fact that you are the people pleaser and you are the yes man or the yes woman, and you will do favors for other people and you won't ask for anything in return. So there's going to be some people in your life, when you start standing up for yourself, when you are no longer compliant, who are going to push back. Right? That is not an indication that you should stay compliant. That is an indication that that relationship needs some boundaries. So if you want other people to help you, then you need to find the other people who are out there who actually want this for you, who want you to be less compliant, who want you to stand up and use your voice. So for other people to help you, it needs to be, they need to make sure that they're giving you the opportunity to use your voice, that they're giving you the opportunity to be autonomous and have the freedom to express, which means making choices. And this can be in simple things of like, what do you want for dinner tonight? The compliant surrenderer is probably going to go, I don't know, whatever you want. You decide, it's fine. I don't care. Whatever you want. Whereas other people can go, no, come on, give me your decision, give me your input, tell us like what some of the ideas that you have, we want to hear from you. So really promoting the use of your voice. If you've got people in your life who are promoting you and encouraging you to use your voice, you know they're the good people. You've got the people in your life who are telling you that they don't care what your opinion is, or they're happy to not take your opinion on board. They're not going to be the people who are going to help you get over this compliant surrenderer mode. So the biggest thing with this is learning to actually step up and do things differently. That's all I've got on this one. Thanks, everybody. I'll see you next time.